Today's macro picture is what is a bubble? In investing terms, what is a bubble? I'm going to provide a short history of bubbles. So I'm not going to go back to the tulip mania or anything like that. Just I'm going to go into recent markets within the last 10 years, 15 years-ish. So today's point, where's silver? Where's silver in the whole aspect of this? So, I mean, I got a picture here, and I was actually just looking for a picture of bubbles, and I came across this picture, and it's actually perfect for an extra point I can throw in, because it's a little Chinese, a little Chinese girl. I think it's a girl. It might be a boy. I'm not sure. But anyways. This little eunuch is blowing a large bubble. It's a little Chinese infant. You know, the Chinese, their country is not quite mature yet, but they are increasing their reserves, and they're increasing their reserves in gold and silver. Specifically, the citizens, i.e., this little infant, is they're buying up silver, and they're not buying it all at once. They're slowly accumulating it, and they will continue to accumulate it. And they're blowing this huge bubble, and the bubble will eventually pop, at least in value. I think silver will go up for the rest of our lives, but it's not going to go up in a straight line. We're going to have this huge bubble, and the bubble's going to pop, then it's going to go below value, and then it'll go back up. I don't know if we'll have a second bubble at any time in the future, because usually people have a memory retention of 15, 20 years, maybe closer to somewhere between 20 and 30 years. They don't remember anything longer than that. They'll remember the stock market crash, they'll remember the real estate crash, and they'll remember some of them remember the commodities crashing in 2008. And then this gold and silver thing, they'll remember it crashing as well, but silver is still a rare commodity, and it will continue to increase in price regardless of these little bubbles that are going on. So I wanted to bring up, how does a bubble actually work? Now, I picked up most of these images I got coming up, I got from Paul Rodriguez, I think is what his name is, and I'll post his link at the bottom of this video, and you can read his articles. They're really good. So, how does a bubble work? Well, as you can see here, this red line is the price. This is the price of whatever it is the bubble is, real estate, commodities, silver, gold, whatever it is that you're looking at. What happens is people realize that something is quite undervalued, and they start accumulating it. Now, as the price increases and the interest increases, it actually far surpasses the normal trend line. Now, it's going to continue to go up as people continue to get interested in it and continue to accumulate it. When this happens, and all this demand accumulating all these assets, the supply, which was there to begin with, and the supply could have been lower, it could have been down here, it could have been actually undersupply versus how much people have an interest in it. People start to realize that the supply is low. Then this blue line here is actually the demand, and when the demand goes up, the price goes higher. It's kind of like the premium there. You're paying an easy example is paying $3 to get a American Eagle. The premium increased, so the price is increasing higher than what the actual demand is. So this demand is creating this dash line here. This would be kind of this B here. These dash lines are mining companies. So in the example of silver, so this dash line is the mining companies that go out and they're like, oh wow, this price is so high, we can make a killing. So these mining companies go out and they start mining gold and silver and increasing the supply and increasing the supply. There's a whole bunch of different things that could go on in between this that can make the price go higher or lower. But overall, the supply here is going to increase initially. Now, once this bubble pops and people get to a point where I'm not going to pay $1,600 for a silver coin. That's too much. Or even if silver and gold became parity and they were 1-to-1, like gold was $2,000 and silver was $2,000. There's going to be a price where people are just going to, regardless of who it is, are going to come in and be like, I'm not paying that price. That's ridiculous. There's only so much here, and why would I pay twice, what this is here? So at that point, the price starts to collapse because these mining companies have a huge infrastructure going on where they're pulling out new silver. They're finding scrap silver. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on here that's making the supply slowly go up. And this is only temporary, but it's enough to where at the point this supply, the price starts to go back down and it just collapses. the bubble pops, everybody freaks out and says, oh, it's not going to go any higher, and they start selling everything. And the price just goes way below the normal trend here. And this happened in the real estate. It's still going on in real estate. We are down here. Oh, we're not even that far. I mean, we're right about here on real estate. The real estate bubble is right around where it should be priced, maybe a little bit higher in some spots. It depends where you are. But I mean, it always overshoots to the bottom. So I mean, real estate's still going. I mean, real estate's going to follow this red line down for another 5 years, maybe longer, maybe up to. Can imagine it going for 10 years, but I'd say 2015, just another 5 years, bottom out here, and then it'll go back up to the normal trend. So basically, that's how the bubble kind of forms. The supply always comes back in, and that's what happened in the real estate. If you go back to the real estate example, the prices were going up, and people were like, "Well, real estate never goes down." So their delusion just made the price go up, which destroyed the supply that was here. But then all these builders came out, B for builders. They all came out, and the supply of housing just massively increased. I mean, especially out here, I live in the Phoenix area, and we don't have much to landlock your area in other than Indian reservations. We don't have like any rivers or lakes around us, so the Indian reservations lock us in, but there's still tons of land that's just open. And they just build and build and build all these houses. And those houses, the supply actually, ended up meeting the demand. And they kept building the houses. And the houses just went out here and just kept going while prices started to collapse. And the price went underneath where the supply was. And like I said, I mean, we're still like above this normal green line trend line of where the price should be going. So that's how a bubble works. Now let's look at the phases of a bubble. You got 4 phases. You got the stealth phase, the awareness phase, mania phase, blow-off phase. The stealth phase is you got your smart money that comes in. I mean, these are guys that bought gold and silver, like Mike Maloney, Robert Kiyosaki. They bought this stuff back in 2003. The real smart money actually bought it at the top of the NASDAQ bubble. They traded their NASDAQ stocks in for gold and silver in 99, 2000, and then just waited. So this smart money just kind of slowly accumulates, which gets that flat, 5-year flatness of just price movement, hardly going anywhere, but it's slowly moving up. It kind of trickles up. And then you got your institutional buyers that start coming in, and, I would consider, Sprott out there, the Sprott Fund, which is trying to create a fund that's backed by real physical silver. And I mean, this is a brand new fund. It just came out, in the last, a couple months ago, if that. And he's accumulating as much silver as he can. Now, as we go up this bubble here, you got media attention and enthusiasm. It's kind of we're somewhere between first sell-off, media attention, and enthusiasm in silver. Because I say media attention because every once in a while somebody on TV will mention silver, but it's mostly them mentioning gold. So gold's a little bit ahead in this phase than silver is. The media attention, the only really media attention we've been getting on silver is YouTube and Max Kaiser. But there are a lot, if you watch a lot of people's YouTube channels, you can just see the enthusiasm. Oh, look at me, it's Christmas time, I got all this silver, and yada, yada, yada. I really like silver. La, 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 la. So it keeps, we haven't got to any greed. I haven't seen any greed videos other than, there was one guy that posted a video where he wanted people to use their Chase credit card to buy silver. That's greed. I wouldn't say it's delusion, but it's greed. That's the only video I've come across like that. The rest of them are, down here in this, second phase still. Now, if you pull up the price of silver, though, right here, the question is, I'll try to move this around here. The question is, and this is the price of silver, going back to, right over here is the year 2000. And then right here's as of now, the end of 2010. So the real question is here, if we're somewhere in between first sell-off, media attention, and enthusiasm, are we moving up this enthusiasm chart and just going straight up through 2011? Or are we right here? Because if we're right here, 2011 at some point could see a big sell-off. Now, whether that's, market manipulation or not is irrelevant. You're going to have this sell-off, which tricks people, and it's a bear trap. So, I mean, it's debatable on whether or not we're here, and we're going to have a nice sell-off in 2011. And, I mean, if this happens, it'd be a gift. I mean, you could load up right here, because it ain't looking back after that. But, I mean, if we don't see that, and just kind of from here, I mean, it's just going to keep going up. Now, when you see, and I've actually seen people saying, this is a new world, new paradigm, but it's not, the people that are saying this are not the general, the general public. Like, if my parents were saying this, if my parents were saying new paradigm, this time it's different, then I would say we're up here. But the only people that are saying this time it's different are, smart money, institutional investors, and a little bit of the public. I mean, the public down here somewhere are saying it's a new paradigm. The general public as a whole is not saying new paradigm. That's what was happening in the real estate bubble. Everybody was saying real estate never goes down. It didn't matter even if they had bought real estate or not. Someone that was saying new paradigm in the real estate bubble, and as well as the NASDAQ bubble, were saying it was just people, at the water cooler at work, like saying that stuff. So, I mean, again, it goes back to the real question: are we here, or are we here? Either way, I'm buying. I'm buying. Buying. One last chart here I wanted to show. Looking at this wonderful chart provided by Dr. Jean-Paul Rodriguez of Department of Economics and Geography at Hofstra University. And like I said, I'll post his link below so you can check out his historical articles on bubbles. So if I open up this new one here, this is a chart of the previous 3 bubbles in the last 12 years. And this is only the bubble part. This is only showing the phase 3. If I go back to this chart here, the mania phase and the blow-off phase. It's showing this section. It's not showing the trickle-up part. It's only showing the mania and the blow-off. And at the beginning of the mania is just 100. 500 is the top of the mania. And that's kind of giving you the power of where it's at. So, I mean, you can see tech stock bubble up. You had the bear trap, or not the bear trap. You had the bull trap. It's like this went down, and all these people that were up here that bought all the way up, when it went down here, they're saying, "Oh, it's a gift. It'll go back up." And so they loaded up, and they reloaded up, and it went up to here, and then everybody freaked out. Boom. Same thing over here. I mean, you got the housing bubble, collapsed for a little bit. You got the bull trap, went up, and actually this one went up after. I mean, more people, I think what happened is people can see the housing bubble, and then they're like, oh, wow, I totally missed out, but here's my opportunity, I can get back in. And then collapse. Same thing with the commodities trade bubble, up until end of 2008 when the whole thing collapsed. Same thing on this one. I could get back in. Oh, commodities are definitely, I see why commodities should go back up. And the commodities went back up and collapsed, and you got that little bull trap in there. And if you go back to here's silver, are we here or are we here? Either way, we're in this area somewhere.